The music's working. Curtis is trying
Such
not
a
to
good
eat popcorn. He's put it away. Put the popcorn way away from you so you're not tempted.
I'm a fan of popcorn.
I do
guys.
not know why you think that it being right over there is going to keep you from eating it.
Well, if it's not in convenient hand reach, it takes more effort. So
It does take more. Okay, that's like a John Madden statement. If they score more points, the team's going to win.
If you get something that
Yeah.
doesn't feel good, it's gonna hurt.
All he wants to do is punch him in the face. Like, yeah, it's UFC, Joe.
When you get punched in the face, usually it doesn't feel good.
No.
Usually.
No, and usually if you're in a cage fight, you want to punch someone in the face.
Or submit them.
Yeah.
Make them tap out. Hey guys, welcome to Testing Normal.
Woohoo! We're already deep in conversation.
This is Curtis.
This is Jordan.
And this podcast where we talk about anything and everything we want to.
Yeah.
This is
Episode
31.
Wow.
So
What
good.
what is
So good.
unique about 31? Anything?
Well,
Ooh,
it's
Baskin
not.
Robbins.
It's a prime number. Is it prime number?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
It's only divisible by
It's a prime.
itself. Yep.
It's the lowest prime number, beginning with 3, ending with 1.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
unique in its own way.
Yeah. It's a special.
Just like
number.
everyone.
31 is the age that I used to be
Yeah.
a while ago.
Age I used to be a lot longer ago
Yep.
than you. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, that's about it.
31 flavors.
31 size waist is what I used to have a while ago
Before
as well.
you were a dad and got
Before
a
I-
dad bod.
Dad bod.
Well, you're like a 32, right?
I'm a 34.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, 33. I'm like a 33.
Okay,
to
so
34.
the most frustrating pant sizes to be.
Yeah.
33
is tough.
besides
33
like
is tough.
68. Like that would be
Sure.
pretty frustrating for me too. Anything above 34 would be frustrating for me. But as far as like purchasing pants, you can never find 33s or 31s. And if you're in that range, 32's too tight or you're swimming in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like either they don't make enough or there's way too many people at that size.
So 32. The problem with 33, as you said, right? There's no. It's very few and far between. You know who commonly makes them though? Who I found?
Who?
Banana Republic.
Oh, BR. Huh?
BR baby, coming in hot. And I actually really appreciate Banana Republic, man. As far
Because
as
they look
I wear a
like
lot of
you?
work clothes.
Like if you take your clothes off, that's what you look like.
Yeah,
Banana
naturally.
Republic. Yeah.
Mhm. I look like a banana that was from the Republic.
Yeah. Yeah.
of Congo.
Remember, there's always money in the banana
There's
stand.
always money at bananas. Little Arrested Development right there.
Yeah.
But no, I also have the difficulty is when you have a size 33 because I'm a taller or longer frame.
Yeah. As my wife has pointed out many
The
times.
33, usually I need like a 33, 34.
Ooh,
And so that's a tricky combo.
it is.
It's a tricky combo. 34, 34, I'll find
Yeah.
frequently, but rarely 33, 34. That's why I've decided, ladies and gentlemen, to stick with sweatpants.
Oh, yeah. With a chain.
I've given up on society.
Yeah.
Velvet
Velvet.
and cotton pants are pretty much what we're going to
So
be going
I was
with.
watching this video the other day. I wish I had the link for it. It was on Reddit somewhere, and it was like this guy who did this trick where he would go into a Walmart and he would put a towel on someone's head, but he would also put it on his own head. And then as they pulled their towel off, he would pull his off and be like, "Where'd those come from?" Like as if they like fell out of the sky or somebody like toweled them at the same time, but it was him that did it. And so there's this whole video going along, and it's pretty funny. Like he would do it in random spots, like grocery stores and stuff. But in one frame, this person walks by in like a leopard print sweatsuit or like sport suit, like track running, like. And nobody said anything. Like it was like way into the comments, and someone's like, "Okay, really? We're all gonna leave this here?" Leopard print tracksuit walks by, and we're talking about the guy putting towels on people's heads. Who walks around in a leopard print tracksuit?
That's interesting.
Nobody.
I wouldn't mind a leopard print tracksuit.
I think we should get them and wear them on here.
Ooh. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
Maybe. Ooh. Better idea. This
Go for
idea.
it.
This
Go for
idea
it. Go
is
for it. Go
growing
for it.
and
Go.
evolving
Go.
as we
Go.
speak. One of us wears leopard print. The other one wears zebra print.
Ooh. Or
It's like Predator and Prey.
Now, are you saying tracksuit or like it can be like a one piece, like
A onesie.
onesie
Like
kind
with
of
a
thing?
tail.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna become furries.
Oh, okay.
No. It was like a zip up jacket and like track pants.
Ah,
Like slick.
okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
Comfy cozy.
I would wonder if it would be good for all environments. Like
I think it would be good for.
would you go to the grocery store in that?
Well, this person did. That's what everyone
But
was
would
pointing
you?
out.
Would you?
I don't know. If you were wearing the zebra
zebra,
one,
then you'd
then
wear-
yes, and I would chase you everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you would have to make like sounds as
That's what a zebra sounds like.
dude, they sound super weird. Have you never heard of zebra?
So the old movie Treasure or Swiss Family Robinson, I think.
Yeah.
There was an old movie,
Yes, they rode
and
zebras.
they rode the zebra. There was like a race where there was ostrich,
Mhm.
zebra, maybe a pig. I think something like that.
Did you want to like? Okay, Swiss Family Robinson. Let's
I love
go
that
there. Let's go
treehouse.
there
I
for a second.
freaking loved that treehouse
Yeah,
so hard.
That would be really cool and all, but like they don't ever talk about like different like environments that would have come across that island or anything. Like lots of rain.
Oh, well, yeah. And tropical diseases, maybe.
Yeah.
They didn't
Bathrooms
really-
would be a little bit odd.
Yeah, mosquitoes,
Yeah.
malaria.
Malaria.
They didn't broach that subject very often.
No. And they lived there for a long time.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of diseases,
Yes.
freaking awesome.
Speaking of
Dude, we have so many updates this week for you guys.
not
so-
updates, just things to talk about.
Interesting news and interesting topics. Dude, the CDC this week
Ooh.
released a warning
Ooh, about what?
for people. This was most common. They were finding this disease in Florida, of course. But
All diseases come from Florida.
But they found it in like 40 other states, and it was on a steep incline of people becoming infected with salmonella from their chickens
What?
because people are
Sleeping with their chickens?
kissing their
What?
chickens. And
No,
they're
no,
finding
no,
it
no.
a lot in kids, like their pet chicken. Like, oh, we like to have everybody's like, or not everybody, but it is pretty common even in this area of the Northwest to have like people with chickens, and then they're,
Yeah, I have chickens.
and then they're like,
I don't
their
kiss
kids
my
are like their
chickens.
pets. They're like, so they're kissing their chickens, and they're like they got bird poop all over their mouths that have salmonella bacteria in it, and then they are
Is that
getting
where the
infected with
salmonella
it.
comes from? Is the chicken poop?
Mm-hmm. That's part of it. Yeah.
That's gross.
So people are like getting really, really bad infections, and so it got to the point where the CDC is seeing such an uptick in it that they had to release a warning saying, people, do not kiss your chickens, please.
I feel like that's not something that should ever have to be published.
Well,
It's
so
like-
neither should get your immunizations.
Or like this hot coffee is hot.
Right.
That kind of
Hot
a
coffee.
warning.
That's
yeah.
a McDonald's warning, right?
Yeah, it's like at work there's this label that says caution with hot water. Like that should be a given. Like growing up, that should like parents, you are failing your children and your adult children by not teaching them that hot water is hot.
Yeah.
And that heat is something that you should handle with care.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder where.
Do you
well,
think
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If you don't have any education in, where diseases come from, anyways.
at
but
this
going back
point
to
in
Swiss
our
Family
lives
Robinson,
we should.
That
we
would be
should
something.
know where diseases
They would probably
come from.
kiss their chickens and get sick. It'd be my guess.
They kiss their ostrich. That's what they would do. That's a big egg.
Yeah, that's a big egg.
Like how many ostrich eggs do you want your omelet made with this morning, Billy?
Are they the biggest eggs in the world? Ostrich eggs?
I don't know. Probably dinosaurs are bigger eggs.
Yeah, but I mean living creatures.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. What else lays eggs? Like, do crocodiles lay eggs? I feel like they do, but they're tiny. They're not very big. You know what I think actually would be really funny?
I think.
I think kangaroos should lay eggs.
Okay, what is the? They're not a mammal. They're a marsupial.
Yeah.
All right, is that what a kangaroo
Yeah.
is?
So are caribou.
No.
Yeah.
What?
They rhyme. Caribou, kangaroo, both marsupials.
Really? No, they're not. That wouldn't make any sense. How are they?
This is
I'm like, what are you
You're like,
talking about?
my
What?
whole basis for that was because they rhymed. And
That's
you're like,
insane.
really? Like, yeah, really they rhyme, but that doesn't make them both marsupials.
Dude, another really funny thing I was reading about. There's just this whole article about the crazy crap that happened in Florida this week. This guy.
My uncle wants to know if he can kiss his pig, but not his chicken.
So you can kiss the pig, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Also, Gary, when did you get pigs?
yeah,
You should not tap on the table.
I think we need to give a lot of credit to pigs, though,
For what?
because pigs are one of the primary producers for insulin that we as humans that have type 1 diabetes and sometimes type 2 use.
For type 1, I feel bad for those people. For type 2, guys, there is a solution.
Yeah, so let me just say this. There is a significant genetic predisposition, and some people are much more likely to get type 2 diabetes. And it is interesting. I met this bodybuilder, super lean, super fit dude, okay? But he had type 2 diabetes. And they're like, why are you exercise all the time, you work out really hard. But because he had such a high caloric intake, he actually developed diabetes and actually insulin resistance because of how much food he was eating.
Probably had to do with the food he did eat.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a significant amount of obviously there had been higher.
It would depend on the type of
sugar-based
carbohydrate that he ate that would cause that.
But speaking of eating, this dude in Florida,
yes,
he broke into these people's house at 4:00 in the morning.
This is another Florida thing.
Florida
has things going on.
They got stuff going on, man. They got a hurricane coming in hot and heavy, right?
Yeah, and we store our old people there.
Because Florida has like one of the best tax rates for income tax.
And
so like
2 time zones.
And 2 time zones?
Yeah.
How so? What do you mean?
How so? I mean, that's just the way it works.
Where is the time zone difference?
There's some of them. There's some that are they're 2 hours. Some are 3 hour different.
No, all of the East Coast is.
I think it's
pretty sure
it's somewhere in there because I had a friend that was coming back to a military school and his phone had switched automatically. And I texted him. I was like, "Dude, where are you? You've got like 20 minutes to be here." He's like, "Well, we're stopping to get food, but we got an hour." I was like, "Dude, nuh-uh." And like 5 minutes later, his phone switched, and he realized, "Uh-oh." Like,
oh really?
Yeah. There's like a weird spot.
I'm gonna have to look that up. But this dude goes into this burglar breaks into these people's house at 4 a.m. Okay.
Okay. To kiss a chicken.
No.
Oh,
he just was
separate subject.
He was a burglar that decided to break into this dude's house, but he started cooking.
What?
Yeah, he started.
Okay.
Yeah, he broke into this guy's house and he started making basically like breakfast. The guy said. So he's sitting there. He's working on his.
What time was this at? Does it say?
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. And he had a late night bender, and he said, "You know what?
Or is weed legal in Florida?"
No, Florida's super like conservative.
He had to have had some. He was.
Oh sure, I mean he had.
There wasn't a Taco Bell nearby, and this dude needed
really,
to find food.
You get late night alcoholic, benders that you want to get a little Taco Bell.
I've never met an alcoholic that just gets really hungry.
I have never been hungry if I drink too much alcohol. I always get really sick really easily with alcohol.
Yeah, for real. It doesn't take much, and I'm like not hungry anymore.
Yeah. But anyways, this dude broke in. The guy wakes up, goes because he hears a commotion.
Right.
He goes and he sees the guy cooking. The guy looks at him and he goes, "Shh, go back to sleep." The burglar tells the guy, he whispers at him, tells him to be quiet, and says, "Go back to sleep."
Coaxed him back to sleep.
Yeah. And then the house owner says, "What?" He says, "I'm calling the police, you punk." Calls the police and the guy runs away.
What if he was like, wait, I'll make you some too.
Yeah. You're like, wait.
Okay,
deal. Done.
Okay, deal. But tomorrow morning, I get to make breakfast, and you get to not be here.
Yeah, that's called a homemaid or a servant, I guess, would be what that is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, super funny, super random.
Yeah.
So watch out for Florida people. There's crazy stuff going on there. Super funny. Dude,
my uncle says, "So if I don't want to get a type 1 diabetes, then I better get a pig and start kissing him." I learn a lot on here.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. That might work.
You have to find a way to harvest the pig's pancreas and use its secretions for insulin.
This could be a new type of bacon.
Insulin infused. So there's like, what is it? Maple syrup infused bacon?
Would that work?
Insulin infused bacon.
Insulin and have it work, right?
No, it has to go.
You really need to stop tapping that pin.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Through your mic?
Totally.
Oh, I can't even hear it.
Yeah. Tap it on your leg.
I'll do it over this side.
There you go. Yeah, that mic's off.
Yeah, so let's see. Dude, some other cool stuff that I researched this week. So we're all familiar with vaping, right? I think most people are familiar with vaping.
Wasn't there like a
fad going
death
on?
Or?
Well, there were several respiratory illnesses going on, and they couldn't isolate what is happening with these respiratory illnesses. So they saw that people were getting fevers. They saw that they were like their oxygen saturations were dropping. They saw that they were having significant difficulty just breathing. And they're like, what is going on with these people? And all of these people had said, when they did a history on them, admitted to vaping. And vaping, for those of you that don't know, Juul is kind of one of the most like common like in the news.
Juul.
Yeah, in the news right now. And it's like basically it's kind of like a miniature hookah where you're able to.
You're gonna have to explain hookah. Most people drive by and go, "What's that?"
Okay, so basically you're inhaling a really good flavored vapor that is oil based usually. And it has a significant level of nicotine in it, higher level of nicotine in it than a cigarette usually, per whatever
concentration
per inhalation.
Really?
Yeah, it has a significant amount of nicotine in it.
Have you tried one?
No.
I mean, they're legal, so I can ask you that. Right?
Yeah, I would try. I would. I mean, I'm not going to use it all the time, but I mean, it's basically like a hookah. I've used a hookah before, and it tastes.
What is in hookah?
Delightful. Hookah is like a flavor infused, like really sticky kind of tobacco.
I thought for a long time that like hookah lounges was just like a place to smoke weed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No. Hookah lounges are pretty cool. They're it looks like a tall, kind of looks like a bong, but it's more like has this Indian style to it.
Like
hoses come out the bottom.
Of it.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a really relaxing. It tastes good in your mouth. It kind of has like a little bit of a humidified vapor to it.
Huh.
It's kind of just a relaxing, fun
But does it like do anything to you? Like drinking can make you drunk, and
I mean you
can get
might
get
a very, very, very light buzz, but I've never experienced.
Is there different types of stuff you put in them?
There's different flavors.
Different flavors, but do they have like different substances or anything?
And usually it's a hot coal. You put it. You put a hot coal on the top of the hookah, and then you put this like sticky, tobacco paste on top of it.
Whenever someone says hookah, like I immediately get like the visual I have is from That 70s Show when they're all passing around the bong.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like all orange and like that's what. Oh, I don't know why, but that's like what my brain has like equated
that's funny.
The hookah with. But there's like a hookah lounge on my drive home from work, and it's an A-frame, and it used to be a Army surplus store.
Interesting.
Which is it's super weird.
Dude, we should go visit the hookah lounge.
All right. Someone else invited me to go there once. Like it was Jeff.
I've been to an actual hookah lounge before, and
really?
When I lived in Missouri. Yeah, and
this looks more like a hookah shack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
anything.
Not the highest quality kind of environment.
No, it's State Street too, so you just don't know.
State
like you like
random.
required to carry a gun.
If
you want to survive.
Yeah. When you turn onto State Street, there's a warning sign. Do you have a firearm?
And it's like every like pot shop in Salem has moved to State Street. It's
really?
like 4 in a row.
That's interesting.
Like it's like super weird.
Maybe there's some regulations or something with.
I don't know. One of them's like in a house. The other one's like next to a Taekwondo place, which is super weird.
Dude, but we digress.
Yeah.
So they've had all these people getting these weird respiratory illnesses from vaping. Okay, respiratory. It's been kind of like a significant uptick in this over the past several months.
In Florida.
No, this is across the nation.
Okay.
But
okay, we're outside Florida now, folks.
They were able to do this procedure basically where they kind of
check the lungs.
They flush out the lungs with basically kind of like they squirt water and then they suction it out, and then they were sending it to pathology labs to see like what cells, if there's irregular cells, because when they do chest x-ray on these people that are having these illnesses, it kind of looks like they're having pneumonia. And pneumonia can be from several different things. Pneumonia can be from viruses, bacteria, fungus, but there's also a lipid type pneumonia that you can get.
Really?
Yeah. And they found that these, they started to find in every single one of these individuals that they took the biopsies from that had admitted to using the vape pens.
Yeah.
They found these lipid-laden macrophages that are these. They're in
their lungs.
In their lungs. So macrophages is another way of saying it. Are immune cells that you don't really find in the bloodstream, but you find it in like tissues and especially in lung cells.
Yeah.
And they surround, invaders, and then they try to break it down. And so they're finding these lipids that are being surrounded by these macrophages in the lungs, and basically they're causing an immune/pneumonia-like response. And every single person that they found these cells in, all those people had admitted to actively vaping on a regular basis. So they're finding these little lipids that are causing the severe, respiratory illness,
Right.
which is really interesting because prior to that, they had no known cause for these respiratory, why these people that admit to vaping are like severely ill.
So is it those lipids are then I'm assuming they're saying there's a correlation between them and vaping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They think that whatever is in the vape chemical that you're inhaling,
Right.
your body is keeping these little tiny
I'd be interested to
fat
see like
deposits in your lungs.
the usage rate for those people, because any foreign substance that you put into your lungs, like you could do like water and it's not gonna over time be good for you. Like you're supposed to have like oxygen and air go into your lungs, and all of a sudden you have this foreign substance all the time. You're going to cause some infection of some kind. But we don't know, like it'd be interesting too to see, is it just Juul or is there other like brands that are doing it too, and like what are the different carcinogens that would be in those, but also the usage rate, because I would think like if one person did it, they're probably not going to build up those lipids. Their body's going to be able to filter those out. And
so really interesting thing is, so it's called lipoid or lipoid pneumonia,
right,
from back in the day. That was a different type of pneumonia, but it was really interesting. It was prevalent like 30 to 40 years ago.
Right.
And it was from a whole generation of older folks that used mineral oil regularly as a laxative. And they often would swallow it before bedtime, but leaving just enough of that residue in the backs of their throats. So and it would trickle, and sometimes they would aspirate it just repeatedly, over time. And then they would start to get this lipid type of, overwhelming pneumonia that's caused an immune reaction.
That's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would assume, but I mean,
you don't know, because we don't know like even how many people that they tested either. This could be like, if it doesn't say, it could be like 4 people, and we're finding a correlation now.
No, I mean the study was pretty significant numbers. The N was,
I think I did see it. It was like hundreds, or if not like 1,300 or something like that.
But I thought, like, man, there's so much vaping going on. Every time you drive on I-5 or something like that, you'll see somebody with a plume of smoke coming out. And I kind of think it looks cool. I'm one of those preteens that I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man.
You cool.
Yeah, you're cool. You got a big old puff of smoke. You're like a magic dragon,
Yeah.
But
it is the store. Like I walk through a mall by my work pretty often, and like every store will be empty, and there's always somebody in the vape store. I'm like, really? Like you come down here to do this? Like that takes some significant effort to come to a mall to get your vaping products.
Well, maybe they don't have a car. Maybe that's the closest place to them. They're just walking.
Yeah, but everyone has Amazon, don't they? I mean,
not everybody, not everybody has Prime.
True,
right?
But if you order $25,
does that guarantee a 2-day if you order $25?
I don't know.
So that was just a random thing to say.
I don't know. I just figure like the mall is still an odd place to go get your vape products to me.
That is true.
I stand by that.
Have you used a Juul before?
No.
Have you tried one?
Mm-mm.
No, I haven't tried one either, but I also don't want to spend the money, I guess.
I know,
like
yeah,
if somebody had one, like I'd give it a
I don't even know how much they
waft,
are.
but
like I've seen them in like a liquor store. I've seen them different like at the gas station and stuff like that, but it's like I don't know.
But it is a weird concept thinking like, okay, if this study is true, like, oh man, I'm just putting lipids in my lungs.
Yeah.
And obviously using it once isn't going to, I don't think cause detriment, but the repetitive exposure.
Well, that's why I want to know, like, are these people like never giving their lungs a break? Is that what's going on? Like,
well, I don't know. It didn't say the frequency of those individuals, the usage, but I mean, I don't know.
You
got to think about environment. I mean, I was thinking about this.
Often.
So like, it's pretty common, like those immune cells are responsible for also like breaking down like dirt and debris that gets in your lungs. Think about how much dust we get in our lungs.
Oh yeah, it's got to be a lot.
Back in the day when we used to work on a farm, we would be working fire trails, or we'd be working in a field, and just there'd be heavy plumes of just dirt everywhere,
and you're just coughing all day long.
Yeah. And so thinking about dirt in our lungs has not, I mean, it's not good for you, but doesn't typically cause pneumonia or
Right.
respiratory failure or something like that. Where these lipids, apparently the body's having a hard time expelling it and breaking
Probably
it down.
because if it is the oil that's doing it, it's pretty heavy. And if you think about like even just like one drop of oil, you with like a persistent effort trying to get it off of something is not very easy.
Right. Yeah. So vaping, watch out, guys. You know, you do you, but
Arthur,
you gotta be a little careful with the vaping out there.
I don't know if he's still there, but if he's there, hi man, I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you.
Hey, Arthur. I like that name. Always liked it.
I would say his email, but then he would get his email on the podcast. But I like it. Every time I see his email address, I smile.
Dude, I got several other interesting.
He's an amazing drummer. By the
Yeah?
way. Yes.
Nice.
Super good.
Right on, man.
He learned from a guy in Turner,
Oh yeah.
which is funny.
Oh yeah,
'cause
that's
I
where
saw
your
him-
brother learned from.
I saw
right?
him drum one time, and I said, "Hey man," I was like, you drum open, like instead of cross.
Right.
And it's like, did you learn from Larry London? And he was like, I did. How did you know? I was like, because you drum open
Mhm.
like this, and he's famous for that.
That's cool. That's cool. Dude, I got several other interesting things. You got
Yes.
anything juicy from this week?
Dude, keep going. I'm enjoying this. This is like a learning session for me.
I don't know why. I just found a lot of really interesting articles this week to broach.
Do you have anything more about Florida?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Perfect. Go with that one.
Dude, I'm not even kidding.
Back
the
to
amount
Florida,
of crap
man.
that's going on in Florida. There's a
Ooh.
guy that was arrested in Florida recently. I think this past week, and he was jailed. He went not solely for this, but he went to prison for giving his girlfriend a wet willy.
What? Okay. There's got to be more to that story.
There is a little bit more. So yeah,
Okay. By the way, the ginger ale,
uh-huh.
that's pretty good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys out there, we are getting sponsored eventually by Zevia.
Ooh. Wait. No. Well, we're not for real, but
Oh, for real, we're gonna be.
Okay,
Like it's a
someday.
speaking it into existence.
okay. There you go.
We love Zevia.
The
You guys
universe
should try
is
it
going
out.
to give us this. Tell me before you go into the Florida thing, the study, or maybe you don't have the study. Like you were talking about stevia and what it
Yeah.
can do. Since we were already talking about diabetes and what
Mhm.
or insulin resistance.
Yeah.
And we were watching the fights yesterday, which BT Dubs peeps.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
I
Khabib,
think I was
he's freight train, man.
I think I was-
28-0 right now.
I was
Khabib.
I have not been like emotionally drawn into a sport like that and had like my attitude affected in quite some time, and I don't know if I like that or not. Like
It adds a wing. It adds a wing of excitement.
it was so close.
It was so
And
close.
anyway,
Khabib beat Dustin Poirier for those of you that weren't.
but Dustin
hadn't seen
did a
it.
good.
Dustin put up a hell of a
good job.
fight.
Like
Put up a good fight, man. He was strong.
He
He
tried.
got some good hits in. He tired himself out. So the problem with, I think, Dustin Poirier in particular in that fight that people didn't really comment on, it had a heat index. It felt like it was 123 degrees in that arena. Like it was absurdly hot.
I lived in Louisiana for a summer. That's probably as close as I've ever been to like what they were experiencing in there.
Mm-hmm.
It is not cool.
Nah.
Like
Literally.
not cool, but it is not like I don't understand why people inhabit parts of the world that are like that.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I get it to your home and whatever.
there's just
but
a lot of oil.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude.
But there's a lot of oil everywhere.
So this guy though.
Wait, stevia.
Oh, stevia.
Yeah.
So basically, stevia has been shown, and you guys can Google this too and look it up. There's a lot of studies on stevia.
So
but
this has stevia in it. That's why
Mhm.
Zevia.
yeah. So it's nice because it's 0 calories. Okay, it's a natural plant-based sugar sweetener.
What
does it show
up the best?
It has
There.
stevia has been shown to decrease
Insulin resistance.
insulin resistance of cells in the body. So if you're eating or drinking stevia, your body will be able to tolerate and utilize insulin better, essentially. And so people that are concerned about being, pre-diabetic or being, type 2 diabetes or something along those lines, stevia and Zevia, the drink itself, is a good alternative.
Yeah.
For
You can also get
people
in
with insulin
dropper.
issues.
And I
Yeah.
would say, like, as a caveat, a lot of people have said to me before, like, I just really don't like stevia. Like, you tried to use too much.
And the alternative to stevia, if you guys don't like the flavor of it, monk fruit.
Yeah.
Monk fruit is
Although that doesn't have the insulin type.
I don't think it
things
has
that-
the same insulin index benefits.
They
but
sell it at Costco.
both of them have 0 calories, and they're both healthy.
Lakanto. It's actually half monk fruit, half erythritol.
Oh, okay.
sweetener.
Yeah, it's M-O-N-K.
Yeah, M-O-N-K.
Yeah, monk.
But the brand that I get is Lakanto.
Wait, how do you spell like? Is it M-O-N-K? Like a monk?
Yes,
So they're spelled the same,
sure.
but pronounced different. Monk and monk.
I
Do you
don't-
say monk? Do you say monk?
This is a serious question.
I say monk.
Okay, yeah. For monk fruit or for the
No, like
guy on a hill?
No, like a guy in a monastery. Do
Yeah,
you say monk?
I do not say monk. Nobody says monk. If they do, they have monked their head too many times. It's definitely like a U.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Anyway.
So guy in Florida, I'm gonna get there, dude. This guy, he got arrested for giving his girlfriend a wet willy. Apparently, he was being belligerent at his house. He was yelling,
Yeah,
screaming,
there
and
it is.
pulled at her arm because he wanted to give her a wet willy. She did not want the wet willy. He
Okay.
was basically forcing her, and finally got to do the deed and give her the wet willy. And she was so pissed that she called 911. The police came. He admitted to giving her the wet willy, but by force, and thus created
Oh my gosh.
assault, I guess is what it would be.
I want to go and be in
and he
that
went
court.
to prison for giving his girlfriend a wet willy.
Did he go to prison or did he just get jailed and has
Yeah,
like a
sorry,
court date
not
now?
prison.
Yeah.
Silly. Yeah, I've learned that there's a difference. Yeah, he went to jail.
What if he ends up going to federal prison? It's a federal crime.
What are you in for? Wet willy,
Don't mess with that guy.
bro.
You get in a fight with that guy, he'll forcibly give you a wet willy in the shower.
Yeah, yeah, dude. So Jordan, tell me, what do you think about the latest Hong Kong updates?
Okay, so the latest that I've heard is that they have dropped the extradition. That's what I've heard. That's what the whole thing started over was the
Extradition.
I can't even say that word.
Yeah,
Anyway,
extradition.
sending people to China from Hong Kong. Like that's what started this whole thing, and then it kind of got to the point where we talked about it. I think last week a little bit, or maybe the week before, where they were saying like we want freedom. That's kind of what the people were starting to ask for. But after this 16 weeks or something of these protests and stuff,
Yeah.
they said, okay, we'll get rid of this. I kind of I didn't read a whole lot more, but my first thought is I think these people are now out for more. It started with that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to quit.
Right.
They're going to keep going because they're going to be like, okay, we actually want more than just this.
Because the people of Hong Kong are being oppressed, or they are a free country currently. However, because of Great Britain not thinking far enough ahead, when they relinquished the colonization of Hong Kong back to China mainland, the people of Hong Kong know that over the next couple decades, more and more control will be given to the Republic of China. And the people of Hong Kong are super stressed about that, reasonably so, because it's essentially a government dictatorship that controls,
Well, it's communism, right?
Yeah, it is communism, but not, I guess, true communism is,
is much different.
is kind of a fantasy. But yeah,
never really worked that well.
yeah, which is interesting. So, but the leader of Hong Kong, the current, I don't know if you call him prime minister or president or whatever. Her name's Carrie Lam, or Carrie Lam. She agreed to take the extradition bill off of the current vote. So the people were really excited about that, but obviously they don't want more power to be given to the people of China.
I think that's the real thing. That was kind of the feather that tipped the scale, but I think that they're really, I think they're kind of out for blood. I think they're going to go for more. I mean, they've fought this long.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
It makes me sad for them to think that they're going to have to give up their rights, essentially. Dude, also what I really liked is the people of Hong Kong, they were tearing down the cameras on the streets.
Oh, I know.
Facial recognition cameras, and even just security cameras. They were tearing them down because they knew that the government of China was able to tap into them and use them to punish people when they begin to have more control in their state.
Oh yeah, it's scary. It's like was it 1982 or whatever the book was where
Oh,
The government started taking over. And
well,
Big Brother and
yeah. Well, what was that? What, Cloud Atlas? No, not Cloud
No.
Atlas.
like the.
No, wait. What's that
I
book?
think I'm right. Haley's probably screaming at the TV.
Yeah. No, there. Atlas Shrugged. Have you read that book, Atlas Shrugged? That's a really interesting conversation. A really good book. Dude. Okay. So while you're looking up that book name, I got another interesting health study that's come out. This is a really interesting study. It's going to throw some curveballs at you.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
I like it.
So,
I've been feeling really curveball-y lately.
have you?
Like we had.
What does that mean?
Well, like just rethinking some things, like things of. I don't know. I think we're at a really weird pivotal spot in our culture and country that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the world too, but that's always going on. But I don't know. I just think I've just been thinking deeply about a lot of different things.
I like
and
that.
and
That's
had a lot
good.
of good conversations about stuff like that. Ones that people like. Currently, people say, "Well, that's a dangerous conversation to have." Like, you have the conversation about like socialized programs. It's like, well, why not have that conversation? Like in the past, I get you. Like I probably would have said the same thing. No, that's not even a conversation. Like, why not at least just like thought experiment that out in your own head and figure it out? I don't know.
Dude, that's really interesting. I like it. Well, let me throw something out there that makes you think a little bit more.
Yeah, because I kind of had a feeling maybe you were kind of headed that direction.
This is not like controversial by any means, but
Yet.
it's interesting. So this
let's test normal.
this
tonight,
university, it's called the University of Plymouth,
Rock.
in Barcelona. They did a study, and they did actually a pretty extensive study, and they're actually calling for people to stop using mouthwash.
What?
Yeah, because they're seeing that it inhibits some of the benefits of exercise. What? Crazy.
Because of bacteria.
Right. They're saying that when you exercise, so when you're doing like cardiovascular exercise, okay,
Right.
your body begins to produce nitric oxide. Okay.
Yeah.
It degrades into nitrates, which for a long time thought didn't have much of a function. Okay. But they found that it actually can cause vasodilation, and which basically helps to bring down your blood pressure.
Okay.
So exercise releases a certain chemical that then allows you to decrease your blood pressure.
Right.
But it's most effective while you're exercising.
Right.
But then they found that that nitric oxide breaks down into nitrates. But what can happen is when you use mouthwash.
It's so weird.
So
Everything's tied together, folks.
Yeah. So they've shown that nitrates can be absorbed in the salivary glands and then excreted with saliva in the mouth. And some bacteria can use nitrates to convert into nitrites, which is the molecule that can enhance the production of nitric oxide in the body, which then allows for reduction of blood pressure and causes vasodilation. So they're saying if you use mouthwash, you're killing the bacteria that allows for the breakdown of this molecule that then can help to decrease your blood pressure.
So like thinking that through,
wouldn't
you need to kind of use it during exercise? To
the mouthwash?
inhibit it? Yeah.
Well, they're saying like if someone exercises in the morning and then they go take a shower, use mouthwash, it decreases the
would
effectiveness.
Be that timing. That's where I was trying to figure out that timing. I'm like someone that's just like doesn't do it then. I mean, some people exercise middle of the day. Yeah.
Right? But a lot of people, I would say a large majority of people exercise in the morning before
it's
work.
When they have, yeah.
When they have time. Or even at nighttime.
True.
Before bed. Right? So it's interesting, like they've shown you don't want to mess with your good bacteria.
Right.
But mouthwash does help to prevent, cavities, which then can cause health effects as well, negative health effects.
I'm on the fence with that one. Like, I don't know that it does.
I think
And this is like
that's a
just
good question. I don't think it long term does.
It's
but
a
I
little
think
bit of history here. Like
short term.
Like my family is one that like Listerine was like part of the family business, and
here's where I think mouthwash helps.
they pushed it for. They coined like halitosis.
Yeah,
to
I
make
don't
people
think
that they had something really bad, but they just had bad breath.
I don't
which is
think
bad.
necessarily the antibacterial
Are you taking off your
properties.
old man sweater? You getting too hot over there?
I don't think the antibacterial properties help with cavities, but I
Right.
think the fluoride that some mouthwashes have has
maybe
increases the quality of the enamel.
the beta corazine. I just made
No, the
I'm making up words now.
no.
To sound
The
like I love you. Enamel.
no. The metachlorians. Do you know metachlorians? It's Star Wars, dog. Metachlorians.
I'm like
It
trying to make
improves
up
the
I'm trying to make up my own words.
Yeah. Well, the problem is often with
I thought it was Mandalorian.
our Weenel sprockets often become loose.
Yeah.
And that causes our flux capacitors to come out of alignment.
Well, the
right?
specs on the inline for the rotary girder.
Right. Well, the Nos-Bogger system is always out of whack.
Right.
Always out of whack, man. Can't trust that thing. As far as you
Only
can throw it.
in Florida.
Only in Florida.
On Wednesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
People were like, what just happened? Like, nothing just happened.
Yeah, but dude, that's most of what I had for this week as far as
Okay.
crazy stuff.
So here's a couple things I've been thinking about. I'll throw them out there, and then you can tell me what you want to talk about.
Okay.
Climate science. Okay.
Okay. Go for it.
Ballots initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Gerrymandering.
Okay. Racist.
Yeah, exactly. And ranked choice voting.
Let's do climate.
Okay.
I'm liking the idea of that.
So is it interesting, like, short article. I'm not a big, like, proponent of, is it Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah. E-dub. That's what we call her
Yeah.
back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back when we were in prep school together.
But one thing that she did bring up, and this is where it's like, if you don't agree with someone, this is something I've been thinking about too.
Uh-huh.
Like, just as a like quick side note, real quick. If you don't agree with someone or you don't like them, let's take Trump for example.
Okay.
Let's make this really controversial for a second, because I've found that in all social circles, that no matter what the person's background is,
Mm-hmm.
or what, they will have a very strong opinion on Trump. Okay? Now, it might be really negative and it might be really positive, but there's almost no social circles that you will be in where somebody will not have a very strong opinion one way or the other on him.
Right.
Right? Okay. So, I don't have a strong opinion. Okay?
Okay. Go on.
But I do think there's some dumb things he said and done. And I think there's also some things that people could learn from him too. That it's like as one of my kids said the other day, like, do you think that Donald Trump was really stupid? I think that was her question.
Can somebody be really stupid and make it to the presidency?
So that's what I said. I said, you know what? I was like, I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right or wrong.
Well,
I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
okay, do you think he's doing what he's doing for the purpose of retaining his position as president?
I think it's just to get what he wants. Like, he's this.
What do you think he wants? What do you think the dude wants?
I think he wants to benefit himself and his own businesses, and I mean, just like anyone else. Like, it's like the things that he's. But I mean, I think truly, like, possibly deep down, there are things he wanted to change in this country that he thought would be better. Whether you agree with them or not, like, I could definitely, like, people could be like, oh my gosh, he said so many things. Okay, so have you. Like, I got it. Yeah, he's the president, but we've all done really dumb things. Like,
right.
And if we want to, like, open up your entire life too, then
all of our shit
I'm
stinks.
sure,
Everybody's got shit that stinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I think the problem is that I think that we all have a certain level of expectation of someone if they're going to be in a position of leadership.
For sure. Like,
obviously.
I'm not discounting that, but I'm just saying, regardless of your opinions, you can learn something from someone. So I say all that to say, like, Elizabeth Warren, like, I'm not gonna, like, go out tomorrow and like cast my vote for her. But
dude, she's one of the front runners right now.
I know she is. It's fine. But one thing that she did bring up was that the plastic straw debate
Yes, I saw this.
is like what did it say? Like big oil's like distraction. I'm paraphrasing, and we'll put the link in the show notes and stuff.
Right.
Is a distraction from really what's going on
Yeah.
in climate.
So everybody, if you're not aware of this, essentially plastic straws have been kind of
Demonized.
leading the news in terms of it being negative for the environment. We're seeing, videos of turtles with straws stuck up their nostrils, or, we're seeing, like
and maybe they
straws
needed to breathe,
with straws,
or maybe
with,
they just were enjoying a
Hitler
nice cold
mustaches,
Zevia.
Hitler mustaches on them, mustaches.
Right.
But yeah, so there's been a big campaign in Hollywood and other,
Right.
avenues to say get rid of straws. Now, honestly, great. I think that's okay. I have no problem with getting rid of straws. I think I like the paper straws. Even I think that's a great alternative. Biodegradable.
My favorite so far are straws made of straw. Because it's so amazing. Like if you go to shout out to one of my favorite coffee shops to go to is Broadway Coffee House in downtown Salem.
It's not bad.
It's owned by a church, so it gets really controversial. People think, oh, because it's owned by a church, they're against all people, and they're not. They're really cool people.
They're just racist. That's all.
Yeah, they're just racist. It's not, no, they're fine, and they have really fast Wi-Fi, so you can't complain with that. And they have a lot of free services that are open to the community of all types. Anyway, they had, I don't know if they still have them now, but go there and buy coffee anyway and see if they do. But they had actual straws that were made from straw. So like a different size on one end than another. Like every one is different because it's really.
Do they fall apart really easy?
No, no. Like they're way more stable than the paper straws. Like
That's cool.
I much prefer them. The only thing that's annoying is that like not all straw is very big, so you're kind of dealing with like a plastic stir type size straw.
So Elizabeth, though, she was saying that
it's a
she was saying it's like a way of she was saying the Republicans or Democrats were using it.
It's just that
as a tool.
no, not it wasn't like I don't think she was like shout out to them. Although I would say like the Republican Party in general speaking has like discounted like most of the climate claims.
Here's the thing. I would like to remove the human component of climate change.
Yeah.
I would prefer it to be like most research that I've seen, I guess, and studies that I've looked at.
Fossil fuel industry.
It looks like
distraction tactic.
there is a common trend of it being warmer and warmer. My personal experiences have been, even where I live, over the years, it seems like it has progressively gotten warmer and warmer and warmer, over the summers especially. So the thing that I would like is remove what's causing it necessarily, even remove the human component to it, remove the fossil fuel component to it, remove we're getting closer, our poles are going to magnetically switch or whatever. Remove all that. I think it would be good. Just
turn your compass around.
Can we just agree on the fact that there is a change in our climate? I think that's
the problem.
That's the first step, because you're getting all these teams going like, it's because of big oil. It's because of, it's because of, Furbies.
There's a danger in doing it that way though, because most people will say, once you do that, they will say, okay, yeah, we've removed that and there's nothing we can do about it. And so then they don't want to do anything.
But I think
you have the danger in it.
I think but I think you're skipping ahead. You just got to recognize that, something is changing.
Yes, but people will then, this is where they go. And this is why that's kind of a dangerous, and maybe you have a different plan of action in that thought. But people say, okay, well, it's just cycles and we can't control it. What's Gary saying? He just said a lot. So like they'll say, well, it's just a cycle, we can't control it, so there's nothing that we should do. And I think that then it removes a responsibility, and people want to ignore things. Like people will say things like, well, I believe science because I just saw that black hole picture. Awesome, good job, science. And then the next breath they'll say, well, we don't believe you on this whole we have something to do with climate change. Like, which one is it? Like, they just took a picture of something millions of light years away we've got the technology to figure out what's going on. Yes, they've changed their tone a little bit. Yes, for a while their spokesperson was Al Gore, and we can all kind of agree that he sort of did them a disservice in being that person.
Right. He just made money off it.
And there are people that want to be greedy and make money off of it, but there's also people that want to be greedy and make money off of ignoring it. So
yeah, you can make money off both ways, but I regardless, my own belief is that there needs to be an acknowledgement of it, and removing the team, removing the confusion of before you try to figure out what's causing it, you need to recognize you're sick. Like before you need to before you go to the doctor to figure out why you're sick, you need to acknowledge you are sick.
Right.
And I think that might be a good avenue, a good route.
It might be, but when I've had that conversation with people, because I'll talk all day long about it and be fine. I mean, like I can't prove. I'm not a scientist that has any way of like showing you hard data. But in the studies that I've read, I think that there are some people who are that blow it out of proportion. For instance, like
blow what out of proportion?
The climate issue,
like how much it's changing.
No, just like what to do about it. So like, for an example, like Andrew Yang said in one of the debates, he said we need to start moving people further north because the South is going to start flooding. Okay, well, slow down a little bit. Let's first like figure out what we can do to fix this. Like, and maybe there's something. It
kind of already is flooding.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yeah, maybe there is something to it, but to lead with that is not a great way to get there.
But if they didn't have those
argument.
dikes in New Orleans, it'd be flooded right now.
It would have been that way before. But like the problem with saying that, well, we can't do anything about it, is people will jump to, and this is a lot of like, you know, true like Southern people will like then jump to religion and say, well, we're not God, we can't fix this planet.
Yeah.
Like I've had people say that to me. It's like, okay, well that's fine if that's your solution, then like is to just do nothing. But if you can get someone to the point where they can admit like, okay, we have contributed something to this, then you can go to the, okay, if we've done that, we have to have a way to fix what we broke too. Maybe not like fix the cycles. We're not going to change the weather or anything. Like we're not going there, but we're like, what can we do to improve what we burn and put into this atmosphere? We all have to live here.
So you know what we can do to improve? Everyone out there who's listening right now, if you're interested, I'm very excited to start testing the new either Tesla or Ford F-150 all-electric pickup.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there would like to donate to the Curtis Fund of getting a new electric pickup, and I'll give you guys a review. I will, however, if you want review. single space, double space, whatever it is you want.
Times New Roman.
Times New Roman, Times New Roman, Calibri, whatever you want.
I'll write you a freaking paper.
What's the format? I can't remember.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I would be happy to do that
MLB.
for you guys. MLB format, NBA format, NFL format,
something like that. UFC.
UFC.
I'll do it all in wingdings.
But have you seen like did you see the YouTube video of the new Ford F-150 all electric vehicle?
No, but did you see the Porsche one?
I did.
Oh,
looks amazing.
My gosh.
But dude,
and they called it a turbo, and I was like,
right, there's no turbo.
That word means what you thinks it means.
But there's a what's it called when it's like a test vehicle, but it's like a concept. There's a concept pickup of the Ford F-150 all electric, and it is showing its testing of pulling capacity, and it has 10 freight train cabooses or whatever they were called.
It's pulling.
Yeah, and they're all
the
full.
Torque of
they're
electricity
all full
is amazing.
of F-150 pickups, and it's 1 million pounds.
That's crazy.
And it pulls 1 million pounds like a football length field or whatever the length was.
I haven't seen that. That's pretty rad.
But it's a pretty cool video, and it shows what I was more impressed though with the rope that was pulling that didn't break.
Go rope.
I mean, it wasn't like
right,
old school rope, but it was some type of tow rope that was able to hold 1 million pounds. And it wasn't big. It was like seriously, it was like maybe like 4 inches across.
But
it's super thin.
There's something to be said for rolling weight because it wasn't pulling it straight up a hill.
Initially, it would have had initial force weight of a million, right? When the initial weight was approximately.
I don't know what the math is, but I don't.
But after the initial inertia started, then it
But I don't even
decreased.
think then that if it was a flat plane, I don't think it is. Rolling weight is different. So
Yeah, it
but
is
it's
different.
it's still impressive. I'm not downplaying the impressiveness of it.
It was probably at least 20, 30
But if it
pounds.
was like pulling it straight up in the air, or if it was on a pulley that was actually pulling 1,000,000 pounds up,
Right.
like that's different than rolling weight.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool.
that is, yeah. The thing is like it really is like it going back to the whole it's a distraction thing. It's like I don't know how people could be like, okay, well, fossil fuels aren't doing anything. Like, no, I don't like. If you were to shut yourself up in a house, people die from that. Like,
Right.
so like eventually it's gonna like well, the globe is really big. It's like we've been burning it for a long time. Like, and then I actually, and I don't have it here, I don't have the article here, but I was reading an article this week where people they did the actual math, because people will be like, well, over time electric vehicles are more toxic to the environment because of the lithium and all that kind of stuff, and the math is super off, like, which I always kind of suspected that it was, but what it didn't take into account, they took it into account for the electric vehicle, like getting the lithium, putting it together, disposing.
Are you saying
it.
like the overall carbon footprint?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
But
Yeah.
what they didn't take into account for the gas vehicles was the pumping of the oil, the moving of the oil, the taking it,
the
and
waste.
processing it,
Yeah, that's a
the
good point.
putting it into the, and so all that had been left out, and all they did was calculate it burning it.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yet they wanted to include all that for the electric vehicle. And when you took that away, after 3 years, the standard electric vehicle way outpaces any gas vehicle.
Right. Yeah, so overall they've shown that where they've gotten to in the ability to produce the vehicles,
Right.
essentially electric vehicles now have a smaller carbon footprint in their lifespan than gas
Well, and then if you
vehicles
take
do.
into account, like, because people are like, well, then they have to dispose of lithium. They don't. Like, Tesla doesn't dispose
Right,
of
they
it.
reuse their batteries.
So what they do
yeah.
is they take the batteries that don't hold as big of a charge and they put them into storage plants for energy.
Right,
And so they continue to be used,
which is awesome.
which is awesome. Like they actually, you get a credit when you go in and get that. Like, and the reason I
Ooh.
know that is because there was a guy in Canada that we talked about, I think like a month or two ago, that had passed the record for the Tesla driven the furthest, which is like 500,000 kilometers or something
It's
like
just insane.
that. And he, or it was maybe
Million
it was-
miles, wasn't it? A million
no,
miles?
it might have been 1,000,000 kilometers, which came out to like
Hmm.
not as many miles. So, but he had one battery replacement, and people were talking about that. And so I went and kind of looked, and Tesla gives like they buy back the battery at a percentage rate, and then they actually use them again. So they don't actually get thrown away. Like, nothing's being thrown away.
That's cool. Dude, speaking of reusing, for anybody out there that listens to Audible, which will be another future sponsor that we're going to try to get,
Yeah.
Audible, if you guys are interested in this, you can buy books, okay, or you can get a subscription, whichever you prefer.
Which
But-
just gives you credits to buy books.
Gives you credits to buy books, but it's cheaper.
Oh, it
You
is.
can return the books
What?
at any time. I just returned 5 books on Audible and got
What?
5 credits back that I get to go get different books. It's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Some of the books I had bought like a year ago. So I don't know if there's like a limit. I looked online and they didn't have it posted how many books you can return per period or whatever. But like seriously, I just returned 5 books and now I got to get 5 different ones. I was so happy.
Was that
about
how much you paid for them? Or do you get them back at a
So
discounted rate?
2 of them I had purchased and they refunded me the money.
What?
And then 3 of them they
So
gave me
there's gotta
credits
be
back.
something
3 of
there,
them they
like-
gave me credits back.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
was
have to look
incredible.
into
I was
this.
so happy about that.
I don't even. Here's the deal. Like, my wife has some Audible stuff. I've never got any Audible credits or books or anything ever.
Really?
Not once.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it.
I listened to hers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was it? I don't remember what these.
If you have a subscription, basically you get 1 book a month
Right.
or 1 credit a month. But some books cost like $30, and the subscription is $15 a month, I think, or
Right.
$14. And so
Are most books like a credit?
yeah, all books, no matter what the price of the book is, it's 1 credit. So if a book's like a super popular book that's $35,
Yeah.
just 1 credit.
And speaking to Gary's response about, like, with Trump and take out his tweets, which BT Dubs, I did have something in there too. He, like, posted something up from one of his tweets was from a spy satellite that no one had seen pictures from, and a bunch of people figured it out right away, like where it was and its location. And
Yeah,
they, like,
I heard about that.
geosynchronized. And it was like, okay, dude, you probably shouldn't post pictures from that and their abilities. And then how we have more jobs and all that. Like, maybe. But that would be like, if I said that when Obama was in there and like some things
Wait,
were
if
happening
you said
nice,
what?
if I said like, oh, but look at these cool things that are happening because Obama's in there, it's like, we are a giant ecosystem that is affected by lots of things, and maybe some of those things Trump did. If they're tied to him completely, then I would give him credit. I mean, there's other people working on things, but it can also be from past things that have been done that
take 10 years.
that take 10 years to get there. So some of those things could like be happening because Obama did something. They could be happening because Trump did something too. But it's a big complex thing. Like this oil thing that we're talking about. Like it would be a big deal to tomorrow say oil is gone, and we have to figure it out as an economy.
Right.
And that would affect things for a very long time. Like Oregon tried to do that, like essentially, like at a
HB
at a big
2020.
level. But people are saying like the 2020 election could put oil out of business. Like a lot of the things that the candidates are running on is
Yeah, but
this
the
climate
candidates can
stuff.
run on that, but that doesn't mean that actually.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
anything will change.
but it shows that that's what people are wanting to hear,
which is good.
Which is good. But it's also showing that, like, if that's the way things are trending, it could be something that's heavily affected.
That's interesting.
Which is interesting to think about. Like, love it or hate it. Like, if that's,
Well, but I mean, ultimately, what the people, we are the ones responsible for making change and for voting, essentially, right? So,
Right.
eventually, if that's a desire we have to move away from fossil fuels, people, you gotta vote it, man. You gotta vote what you want.
But you gotta be willing to, like, that's gonna take some effort
and sacrifice
on a lot of people's parts.
Yeah, and that's a
to do
hard thing to do.
Really
It's a hard thing. People aren't wanting
and yes, of
to
course,
pay more taxes on their fuel.
I'll get my mom to say something, Gary. Like, I will say right now, and I've said it here before. Maybe you haven't heard it, Gary. I am currently a registered Democrat, not because I've ever voted that way, but if I have, it's none of anyone's business. But I'd tell you anyway. But because I want to vote in the primaries, that's why. And I found out that I can just go online in Oregon and go, bink.
Can you register online? Do everything online?
Yeah.
I need to do that.
It took me like 30 seconds.
I'm gonna go register online, and you only can register for one party.
Yeah.
Like you can't do Libertarian and
No.
Democrat.
No. But that's what's weird. This is why, like, we'll go into my next thing here. But I am not a fan of that. Like,
Right.
I should be able to vote in all primaries.
You should be able to.
Regardless. But here's the thing. I'm also one, and I will, like, unpopular opinion, or maybe popular, but maybe unpopular with some people. I am not a party fan. Like, I think that I would vote 100% tomorrow to abolish having those different parties, or to make them completely useless. Go straight, just like one of the articles, I don't remember.
Yeah, they do.
What state it was? I was Maine. Was it Maine?
Tier voting.
No,
Yeah.
ranked voting,
Which is
where I can pick. I can
Your
say
top
like, yeah, I can
3,
pick my
right?
top 3, or some of them do like top 5 or whatever.
Right.
And then that way, I'm not throwing away my vote to vote for an independent. And a ton of people could start voting for an independent,
Right.
and go that route.
Well, and that's what a lot of other, like several Scandinavian countries do that as well. They have like, I think it was like 16 parties or something like that in their
That's crazy.
candidacy
Yeah.
potential. And you have like, I think it depends on once it gets down to a final level, like you can pick the top like 6 or something like
Right.
that. And like you pick your first favorite and then your second favorite and your
Yeah.
third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
But it's
and
clearly-
then whoever gets the most.
It's clear, like if you want to go into like gerrymandering and how the people
But
have changed the
do you know how-
lines and everything, like I am 100% opposed to popular vote. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's not a good way to do it, because
Interesting.
if you think about it, like the way that we have things divided up, California would essentially just choose whatever they wanted, and they would be the one that could potentially pick it all, like, because they're so big. So I understand how it works now to give a more fair play to
have
people that are
electoral
affected.
votes.
Yeah, because there's
Electoral
less
votes,
farmers than there are city folk. Like, that's just a thing.
Right.
Like, there's not enough land, like, whatever. So there has to be a way to make that way. But I would be in favor of doing a ranked vote, and I know that we're not going to tomorrow like wave a wand and get rid of the R's and the D's behind people's names as they run, but I think that it would give a lot less value to them.
Can you explain a little bit more how the ranked voting works? Like, do you get a point? Is it a point value system? Like if I gave you, if there's like, three candidates in the state of Oregon, and I said, I want this person first, this person second, this person third.
Right.
And so many, like each time they're voted, some people give them number 2, some people pick them as number 1.
No, so it's 3. Not that. It will cast your vote to the person. So like say in this last race, you had Hillary, you had Bernie,
Trump.
And you had Trump.
Okay.
You could say, I vote for Bernie first.
Right.
But if he loses the vote,
if he doesn't get the most,
if he doesn't get the most or isn't winning in your area, then it goes to your second choice.
Interesting. That seems complicated.
It's not now that we have electronics.
But without electronics.
Without electronics, it would be. But doing it this way, and states have done it, and it's what it does is it says like it gives more power to the voter.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Versus to the parties who have now like chosen, like when they throw up and they say like, hey, this is the Democratic nominee. If you're all for the Democrats, that's cool. If you want to vote just because someone has a D behind their name, and when at come time to vote for the president, that is completely your right to do it. But I will like stand up and say that is really dumb. Like you should vote for that person because you've done your research and it is someone who supports your thing, like your thing. Because I've voted Republican in the past, but there's definitely people who have hit that party that they don't represent what I want or what I think needs to happen. And so, but I'm actually like, I'm not going like, okay, well, yeah, let's, some people vote blindly and they're just like, well, I'm Republican, so I'm just going to like draw a line down all these R's. And that's not the way that it's meant to be. That's the way that it's come. That's the way that it is. But what it does is it takes, in my opinion, it takes the power out of the people. And if the people are supposed to be voting for those things, give the power back to the people.
That's right.
And allow them to make that choice and not threaten them with the, well, you just be throwing away your vote. No, I won't, sucker. Like, because you're not going to control me anymore.
I got the backup.
Yeah.
I like it. Dude, I'm all for that.
But I think the popular vote would be very unpopular once it happened.
It'd be interesting. Dude, I'm ready for shower thoughts. I don't know if you got anything else you wanted to hit up.
Okay, so one thing that I did, and I texted you this week. This is the science nerd thing. Here's what I don't. It boggles my mind. Like, we live on this gigantic planet. We can't even understand climate change or whether we agree with it or not. And yet we have this probe that is interstellar.
Yeah, that's
2 of
super
them
cool.
that are beyond our solar system. Like, there is so much that we do not know.
Voyager.
Yeah, and it's like still cruising. Like, I'll put up the link, but you can go there and you can see how many miles it's gaining. Like every
it's traveling
2 seconds.
At what was it? 13 million.
It's
miles.
Ridiculous.
I'll have to look at it. It was like
It's
13 million miles per hour or something crazy.
So fast, and it's been going for 42 years. Like, I mean, launched before I was born, and it is still cruising. And it's like, it's so mind-boggling to think like that's how long it's been going, and it is not even stinking close to a star. Like, not even close.
Oh, dude, there should be. I can't find the website.
I hope someday we can travel fast enough to catch up to that thing.
That'd be amazing.
And like do some upgrades, like give it some more RAM.
Well, that's a crazy thought. Yeah, being able to catch up to yourself eventually over time, like as technology develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it. Dang it. But there is a website where it keeps you updated.
I'll put the link up, and you can see Voyager and Voyager 2 and when they launched and how long they've been going and all that. And they still respond back. Like, they still like talk back to Earth like every night.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you think about it, like, it takes about 20 minutes for a radio transmission to get to Mars. And that's not this far.
Right, and it's 3 seconds to get. So that's a crazy thing. It's 3 seconds. Well, this is light, which is different than radio signal.
Right.
But it takes 3 seconds for a beam of light to shoot to the moon and back to the Earth. That's
Yeah.
how fast light travels, and that kind of is a distance of the moon, which is
Right.
a little different than
It
radio
takes like
waves.
7 minutes from the sun. Like if it burned out tomorrow, it would take 7 minutes before we notice.
Isn't that amazing to think the difference in distance
Oh,
between
yeah.
the sun? That's a really cool thought, guys. The distance between the sun and the earth is so much greater. It takes 7 minutes for light to travel from the sun to the earth,
Yeah.
but it's 3 seconds to travel from the moon
Yeah.
to the earth and back.
Yeah. It's bizarre, like to think about like how vast this place is, and to think that we even like. I don't even think that like maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe scientists are completely wrong, and this planet is just warming up on its own, and there's nothing we could do to make it warmer or colder. But to think that we shouldn't research that and put some effort into figuring it out or figuring out ways to be cleaner,
Yeah,
knowing that the universe is so
Right.
unknown.
it's crazy.
Like, okay, guys,
So-
we're going to have to probably be here for a while.
We got to take care of it.
Yeah.
So Voyager 1 is traveling at approximately 38,000 miles per hour. So it's a bit off.
Yeah.
But the distance from the sun that it's traveled is 13 billion miles.
Yeah.
13.6 billion miles from the sun Voyager 1 has. And that was launched in 1977. Voyager 2, launched in 1977, also is 11 billion miles from the Earth. But that's really cool. That's really cool.
Here's a question for you, since you want to go to shower thoughts.
Yeah, let's
and
shower
I,
thought it.
And I still have... No, hang on.
Oh, okay.
I have one question for you. I forgot. There was a question I was going to ask you.
That's cool.
How would you... This is an Ask Reddit. Remember I said I like those, and I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you these random questions and have you think about them. on the spot.
Love those questions.
How would you feel about a law limiting the top earner for a corporation to earn 50 times that of the lowest full-time earner? For example, if the person flipping burgers full-time at a fast food chain earned $30,000 a year, the CEO is limited to making $1.5 million.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I feel like 50% is even too much.
50 times, not 50%.
I mean, I feel like 50 times is too much.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so numbers aside, you think it would be a good idea to say...
Absolutely.
Okay.
I
I would have answered this completely differently a year ago. Maybe.
I
Maybe
think-
not. I didn't.
maybe not.
Maybe not. Like I sat and actually thought about this. I was like, what would that do?
Well,
So
if
if
it
we're
was
te- if
across
we're
the board,
testing
it
the
needs
norm,
to, it needs
like
to be
this-
across the board
Right.
for it to work.
Yeah. But like what you're essentially doing is tapping into capitalism and saying there's a limit.
Right. True.
You're not taking away. Now, what
that would do is basically the alternative to that is instead of regulating a salary,
Yeah.
you regulate the taxation of
Yeah.
above a certain point. That's
True.
where it comes into. If your income is above a certain standard baseline, that's where it comes
But
in.
here's the deal: is like a lot of these places, like I've known people that have either worked there or had friends that work there, and they essentially hand them the paperwork for government programs when they're hiring them
That's so sad.
because they know, hey,
They're not
this
gonna
is
make
this
it
is what's going to make up the difference, and so it's not the people that are riding on those programs;
Right.
it's the company
The company's using the government.
is using that program to do that.
Gosh, that's sick.
Both I've heard of like secondhand experiences from like friends who have had people that have worked there, that either from both Walmart and from McDonald's doing that.
That's yeah.
And so like
Well-
I'm all for like profit. I think people should be able to like go out and be rewarded for creating business and stuff, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't allow them to do it on the backs of people.
Right.
And that's the difference.
Yeah, totally agree.
So people would say like, well, that's socialist. Like, no, that's different. It's just here's the honest truth. Pure capitalism, which we have capitalism here, but it's not pure. Like people, it's not just,
Well,
there are some limitations.
Mhm.
There's laws that regulate what you can do within that bounds. So it's not just capitalism doing its thing.
and it's regulation, capitalism
And
with
so
regulation.
pure capitalism does not work because people are greedy, and pure communism does not work
Never
because
has.
it never will, and pure socialism does not work either.
Right. Yeah. This is a balance.
Right.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah.
That's my that's a controversy.
I say tax,
And here's the deal:
higher taxation in the higher brackets.
it's just things I'm thinking about. Like it's not dangerous, folks. I know that people are gonna probably contact me and say you're being dangerous. I'm not.
No, just being
I'm just thinking.
good. I like it.
And honestly, my opinions could change in 10 minutes.
Dude.
When we hit stop
I love
record,
that.
my opinions could change.
My opinions change all the time.
We talked about this the other day. Do you remember what I said? I said just because I change my mind does not change the facts around me.
Right.
Just because I learned something new does not change the facts.
And there's a
around
difference
me.
between facts and truth.
Right.
In my head. So, shower thought time. Dude, first shower thought.
Is that the new shower thought music?
Yep. Dude,
Yes.
if the moon was magically replaced with a magnifying glass of equal size, an eclipse would really suck for us.
We'd
Be toasty little
would be
ants.
ants.
Toasty little ants.
By the way,
man.
I did the math on the million ant thing because someone asked me. They said
I did it. No, I did it. The math when we that
how
one
much
day.
weight they could lift altogether.
Oh no, sorry. How much they could lift all together? No,
if I did the math right, 55,000 pounds.
That's incredible.
Like picking up you, no problem. They could also pick up you in your car.
What did I say? A million ants. Didn't I say the weight of a million ants? or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
I broke it
It's
down.
not- yeah.
I can't remember. It was like very, very light. It was very minimal. Okay. You got shower thought?
Wait, hang on.
Got someone commenting?
I know there's people that have said some things.
Oh.
Danny, I don't know what you said nope to. Come on, the dikes in New Orleans have been there back in the days of the Civil War. The dikes were removed during the war to flood New Orleans. That's a good point. I just tuned in, and all I know is that you were talking about Audible, and I like to sign up because you get a free credit, and then I immediately cancel service after I listen to the book, and then I re-sign up and get another free credit. And I just
Do you
keep
sign up on
doing
a
that.
who? Do you sign up? Do you delete? You must use a different email each
I
time.
don't know, babe. You're funny.
That's interesting.
Look around the room you're in and the clothing you're wearing and everything we use in our daily lives is tied to oil. I know. And I'm totally okay with it being swapped out for hemp.
I love that.
And yeah, that's why Red Shirt is a Democrat. But I think that ranked voting would be a better option. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking to it for the next at least 5 minutes. It's just answering questions. And if you guys want to keep answering questions, we'll stop. We'll pause shot that for a second. Okay. The human head very slowly 3D prints hair.
I love that. That's so true. That's interesting. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
Oh,
Just
okay.
kind of oozes it out.
My coworker brought
Just
some
oozes it
3D
out.
print things in
Yeah.
the other day.
It's cool.
I want a 3D printer.
I'm down. I think we should make a business out of it. Figure it out.
I think that a ton of people on Etsy would agree with you.
I know, right? Oh my god.
Yeah.
But something that they don't have.
Yeah.
If we do live in a simulation,
Yes.
maybe magic did exist during the Dark Ages, but it was patched out by the developers. That's a crazy thought, right? If we're in a simulation, maybe there was magic, but developers were like, this is throwing
That
too many
didn't
errors in
work.
us. Yeah, we're like in this big.
Let's try capitalism instead.
We're in a big RPG, basically. We're in an RPG
Ooh,
slash
an
sim,
MMORPG.
maybe Sims. Yeah, MMORPG.
MMORPG. And if someone builds like a wall over that door, I'm gonna pee my pants and it's all over the floor.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's done that if you've played Sims before.
It's
You make
so
the person
funny.
pee their pants. Gary, I thought you were getting off of here. Then we can smoke our clothes. No, that's not how it works. Go look up hemp. Hemp does not have THC in it. It does have some CBD, but it also can be used to make plastics
and
that's-
cars. That's
that
what
is-
Ford
that
did.
is,
Ford used hemp
fun,
to make
fun
cars.
fact about hemp: it was rolled into the marijuana bill back in the day because hemp plastics and things that were made from hemp were beginning to make a dent on the steel industry
No, well, on the paper industry.
and the steel industry.
Yeah, Hearst was a opponent to hemp because it was becoming a substitute for paper companies.
Ooh.
And William Hearst, I think it was William Hearst, that was his first name, and essentially basically became big drama, so he used a lot of racist propaganda to
Dude,
eliminate.
if you go back and look at some of that
cannabis.
propaganda, oh my gosh, it will make you throw up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Alcohol and caffeine are the two drugs we have to explain not using.
So true. Well, but I mean, actually, also,
In Oregon, you also could add in marijuana.
yeah, you could, yeah, that's true.
Why don't you?
Yeah, but alcohol and caffeine specifically, like nationwide, if you don't use those things, people are like, "You're weird."
Yeah, what? Why don't
That's
you?
so
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you
weird.
have a problem? Are you an alcoholic?
Yeah,
No, you are.
People are so.
Because you were trying to make me drink,
strange.
you weirdo.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Not that I
Um,
don't like both of those.
I've
things.
found this happen to me frequently, but the chances of your pocket getting caught on a door handle almost always increases when you're having a crappy day.
So true.
When, or you know, a sleeve or something like that getting caught on a door handle always happens when you're in a rush or something crappy's happening.
Yeah.
Boom, you're caught, and it
And it, like,
tears
rips,
something,
tears.
buttons go flying, sparks start going, emotions start flying high. A lot
Yeah.
of drama.
Okay. If we successfully colonize Mars, then Earth will have its first true competitor for Miss Universe.
That's pretty good. That's true. That'd be a unique situation.
I do think it's really funny. It's like Miss Universe. It's like, okay.
That's a little bit of a
It's
bold
like,
claim.
what if there's another planet out there doing the same thing?
Right, exactly.
And they're like, wait, no, we had
yeah,
2019.
it seems a bit excessive.
We had 2018. We had 2017.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Like, it's kind of
Calm
like
down.
it's
Calm
like
down.
the NFL saying that, like they're the
calm
the
down.
the world champions of football. It's like, because no one else plays it.
Right.
Like,
It's a
you can't
silly claim.
do that. That's weird.
If you illegally, this is the last shower thought I have.
Okay.
If you illegally download stuff in the Bahamas, you're basically a pirate of the Caribbean.
Yes,
Or
I
Caribbean.
love it.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah. There you go, Jack Sparrow. That's it, man. That's all I got for you.
Here's the deal. It is extremely difficult to let someone know that they're bad at taking criticism.
It can be.
No. They're the hardest people
I don't know.
giving them criticism about them taking criticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, nuh-uh, shut up,
Nuh-uh. I don't think so.
you jerk.
Yeah. I never argue about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's funny, man. There's good topics this week, bro.
I like it.
I liked it. It's good combo. I
fun
like
stuff.
having those studies to kind of break down and interesting topics. It's
Yeah,
been fun.
we should talk more about Florida.
Florida, always good
I
topics
feel like
coming
really
out of
mess
Florida.
things up.
The Florida man. Dude, guys, thank you so much for listening to episode number 31. Test the
31.
Normal. We're excited to have more conversations with y'all. Keep doing life with y'all. Hope you're having a great, fantastic week. This beautiful, beautiful, rainy September. And
It's
guys,
supposed to be 90 this next week for us.
which is crazy, and it's downpouring right now.
Yeah.
But guys, subscribe, like us, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you do like, hit us up, let us know. Love
Yeah.
y'all. Have a
Thanks for
great
chatting,
week.
peeps.
Peace out.
See ya.